Okay, I want to end up with this, and it's wild to me that this guy is still relevant in the sports world as far as like being on a team. But Tim Tebow signed with the Jaguars to be a tight end. Thoughts? He's gotten a lot of heat. A lot of players have been like, "No anonymous shit. We're just saying this shit is bullshit."
Yeah, Urban Meyer. Some of it stems of a PR stunt, but then knowing Urban Meyer, it's like okay, maybe there's a plan here where whether it's it's a tight end, so it's like you're not gonna give any mentorship to Lawrence, nor does he really need Tebow's mentorship. But I think it's just let's see what we could do. Maybe a couple gadget plays if taken seriously, but I don't know. This just stems to something that no one's gonna be talking about come September.
Dez came out and said that it's bullshit. He hasn't played in a decade, but we know why. People are saying about Kaepernick. Dude, you know Cap, it's been almost 5 years.
Yeah, him and Chip Kelly.
August will be 5 years since that he took the knee.
2016 was his last season. He had like 18 touchdowns and 4 picks.
Yeah.
And Chip Kelly, look, not a great coach, but he could do some things offensively.
I mean, dude, his claim to fame was with Nick Foles. Remember Nick Foles had like 29 touchdowns, 2 interceptions at one time? Fuck. And then people are trying to tell me like, yo, Nick Foles was the man as far as...
I would like Nick Foles up there. Him and Flacco are the two QBs I would get into long debates about, and like I would get very like these are two quarterbacks made me realize I cannot get emotional anymore about like below average quarterbacks. Like either you get it or you don't. Like those two just right off the bat.
It makes no sense that like those two guys have won Super Bowls, and then you look at guys like Dan Marino, Phillip Rivers, these fucking Rodgers only has one, so he has the same amount as them. And even like, I love Eli Manning, but it's kind of weird that like Eli has beaten Brady twice.
Twice, yeah.
Like it's just
those moments, playoffs. That's why I kind of value sustained greatness over everything, because it's like I want to see year in and year out where you're at, rather than just like, oh, you had a great playoff run. Great playoff runs 3 games, 4 at most.
Dude, people forget Nick Foles. They played that Monday night game against the Raiders on Christmas. Couldn't complete a first down. Couldn't complete a first down.
It was so bad.
And then they have a bye week. They come back and they hang up whatever they did.
Should have lost to Atlanta.
Should have lost to Atlanta too.
Yeah.
And then he gets hot in those 2 games, and all of a sudden we're building statues. Which I get.
Against Mike Zimmer and Bill Belichick, like those are great games, but we're just talking about 2 games. So the same thing with Flacco. It's like if Raheem Moore handles his assignment, that Denver-Baltimore game, we're never talking about Flacco.
Yeah. Jeff Hostetler won the Super Bowl with the Giants when Phil Simms got hurt.
Wow.
Played about... I think he played just the playoffs.
Right. It's just these flash in the pans. Like, okay, you respect what they did, but let's not frame these guys to be franchise quarterbacks or these elite QBs when in reality it's like they were in the right scenario at the right time and they capitalized on it.
I think this Tim Tebow news of him going to Jacksonville is Urban Meyer throwing him a bone for all the shit he covered up at Florida. Have you ever gone down the rabbit hole of that Florida team that Urban Meyer had way back in the day?
Not
as
exactly.
far as like the cast of characters.
I know Hernandez was there.
Hernandez, the Pouncey brothers, Janoris Jenkins, Percy Harvin, Riley Cooper, Cam Newton was there.
That's a lot of names.
Now, look, some of these names you're not going to be familiar with, but Chris Rainey, felony. Solomon Patton, misdemeanor possession of alcohol. Matt Elam, first-round pick, safety.
Right. We had a lot of problems with Baltimore.
Yeah. Frankie Hammond Jr., DUI. Gary Brown, misdemeanor battery, slapping a woman and scratching another at a Gainesville apartment. Carlos Dunlap fell asleep behind the wheel at a traffic light.
He's still going.
Second-degree misdemeanor charge of DUI. Janoris Jenkins, resisting arrest. Marquise Hanna, burglary, felony charge. You look at Carl Johnson, sexual restraining order against ex-girlfriend. You look at Riley Cooper, like I mentioned, Cam Newton, Jaquez Rickerson, weed possession, and then a couple months after that, domestic abuse against his girlfriend. Torrey Davis, suspended license on numerous occasions.
Yo, we're against like a full roster here.
Bro, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lewis Murphy,
wide receiver,
great. 12, 13, 14 other names that I haven't mentioned. But Tim Tebow's in Florida. He's the man. He's super religious. And in the South, religion and football are like 1A, 1B. And he's winning the Heisman. They're winning national championships. And all that shit gets swept under the rug because you're winning. People put up with your bullshit when you're winning. And then what happens? Student ends up taking 2 years off before he goes to Ohio State because he so fucking ran through the ringer.
Yeah. I just don't get, you have such a big rebuilding job on your plate. It's like, why invest the time into this when you know it's going to get media attention, unnecessary media attention? It's like you're trying to build some kind of culture. Like, you need to do something with this franchise that's been in disarray for a couple of years now, or for the most part, minus 2017. So, but who knows? My guess is we won't be talking about this come September. But like Urban Meyer, he's known for being unorthodox.
It's just fascinating when you see that Kaepernick is still outlawed by the league. Mm-hmm. Look, it's been 5 years now. I don't expect him to come back. But then you see shit like this happen where Tebow hasn't played in so long.
New position, too. And you're going to learn a new position at 33. Like, we're expecting you to block. We're expecting you to run routes.
And you know that they're going to be fucking diving at knees, chop blocking them.
Yeah. Like, I could see Tebow maybe use, like, you know, sometimes tight ends, like you see a Kittle or Jonnu Smith, they'll do, like, end arounds or inside sweeps. But, like, what Tebow was doing back in 2011, 2012, but, like, this guy's going to be running, like, crossers. Like, are you serious? Like, he's going to be blocking, like, 280-pound defensive ends? Especially since Jacksonville, they drafted their first running back. They got like 3 running backs. They got a lot of investment in. Like, I don't know. It's just, I find it unnecessary. But I think come September, no one's gonna pay attention.
You know, one thing that I like about myself, which I know is a weird way to start this conversation, is that I'm not married to my opinions. Mm-hmm. I think that's an issue that a lot of people have in sports. Like, they're just like super by the book, and they're gonna, you know, like Skip Bayless, he's just gonna double down on a hot take that he had. And the reason why I bring that up is because when that whole incident first went down, where he takes the knee, I remember just saying to myself, like, yo, he's not that good. He's going to get beat out by Blaine Gabbert. His numbers were declining and whatnot. And then you start to dive into the numbers more. They stripped him of all his weapons. Mm-hmm. You're looking at the turnover with the staff, right? Like, Harbaugh wasn't there anymore. You take a look at the other guys getting opportunities, like Brock Osweiler's getting contracts, Brandon Whedon, Josh McCown was teaching high school kids, and all of a sudden he gets and then at that point you're like, yo, Nick, you're an idiot. Fucking wake up. Yeah. And then you realize what the issues were.
To me, the worst, like the most egregious thing out of the whole what's gone on the past 5 years with Kaepernick was when I think Washington was like 7-6, like they were kind of in the wild card hunt. And they were like on their, like, it was rough with their quarterbacks. I think they brought back Sanchez, and then he went down, and like people thinking, wow, Kaepernick, this is like good time. Like, it's December, why not? And they brought in Josh Johnson instead. And you know, Josh Johnson, that's the name you see when teams are just desperate.
XFL great.
Yeah, like bringing back Sanchez was bad enough. Sanchez hadn't taken a snap in like 3 years, and then when Washington got Sanchez, and then they got Josh Johnson, I was like, okay, he's definitely blackballed. There's no defense of this. That's what I know. Because Washington, remember, that 2018 season, they had Pearson as a runner, but they started like 5-2, and they were creeping around. And then they just signed these QBs, and just like, and like even when journalists were pressing them, they just gave the most blank statements. They're like, "Oh, Josh Johnson really impressed in the crowd," or "We like Mark Sanchez, veteran savvy." Just all cliches you could think of. Use. So I think this Tebow thing will be a non-story within a few months, but unfortunately, there's gonna be some buzz about it. And you know, I don't even know where his head's at. He was, you know, playing with the Mets. Then he was a college football analyst. Like, he's now going to go run routes and block people.
Bro, this guy should just do public speaking. Charge like a ridiculous amount of money to come
legend.
See him.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, he's a legend. Yeah. Good and bad kind.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what he's accomplished, like, he could be a self-motivator for people.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, he could definitely have a career in that.
Yeah, like, look, man, like, I know quarterback wins. Everyone hates that stat, but like what he did in that playoff game against Pittsburgh, like, hey, he pulled it out somehow, and you know he definitely he didn't have 15 minutes of fame. Like, he took that to like 3 years. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't some flash of pan. He actually had some success, but It's just, this came out of nowhere.
I put so much money on them against the Pats.
Oh,
I mean, against the Pats against them.
You want to talk about beatings?
That was a fucking beatdown.
That was a CBS Saturday night game. When they booked that, I was like, oh, they want to push this narrative so bad. But dude, this game's gonna be over by the third quarter.
Brady was like, we're not having that shit, bro. Tebow D.